assuring the vetting committee that he will deal with the influx of counterfeit goods.
The former Nakuru governor, during his vetting, has further said that energy is key to driving industrialization.
This is George Maringa details.
Soft-spoken 47-year-old graduate of literature Lee Kinyanjui was third to face the Moses Wetangula-led Committee on Appointments of the National Assembly.
To establish your suitability.
He too did not run away from ghosts of his past. The former Nakuru County governor was put to task over his performance as county chief, more so touching on street children.
I have faced worse situations, but I just wanted to say I have my conscience, right? I can never do that.
Should he be approved, he'll take over the crucial trade docket, and MPs did not leave anything to chance, pressing him hard on why the manufacturing sector is stagnant and what measures he intends to put in place to improve the situation.
The contribution of industry to GDP has declined. But the truth also is that from independence to date, our economy has diversified. There are many things that were not there. For example, Kenya is among the top in geothermal in the world. Actually, in Africa, we are a case study. Sometimes when you're looking at industries, we don't see that as an industry. If you look at the flower export business, that's a whole industry unto itself. We are probably the fourth and the best in the whole of Africa. So sometimes when you're defining industry, we are defining it from the way we knew it then. But industry is very dynamic. Even the M-Pesa platform, it in itself is a whole industry, financial industry, that has completely reconfigured our economy. So I think as we move forward, and the banking industry, Kenya is not just an economy to itself. I mean, all these regional countries look up to Kenya. So I think sometimes when we say that our contribution has gone lower, it sometimes is taken to mean like we are stagnating. It is not entirely true. Actually, we are diversifying.
MPs also demanded to know how he'd deal with the influx of counterfeit goods. On the struggling industries, the CS nominee said energy is key to driving industrialization.
The growth of industry, I said, where we started in the year 1963 and the session of paper, and where we ought to be today, there is a clear challenge. The issue is how we can unlock that challenge. One of them, I said, was the cost of energy. The other issue is also getting into agreements that allow flooding of goods into the country, thereby disadvantaging our local people. The issue of taxation sometimes, without looking at the broader impact of that on the industry, becomes another bigger problem. I also wish to cite the issue of financing. If anybody wants to start an industry today and you go to a normal commercial bank, the period they give you is normally not more than 10 years. At an interest rate of 18%, you cannot survive. Again, we do not have banks that are aligned to industry.
The trade CS nominee was also asked about his plans towards harmonization of government policy and what happens in practice.
I think sometimes when some of this legislation comes, it would be wise to give the industry time. In which case you say, within the next 3 years, everybody should invest in clinker mining. So that if you're a local company and you know between now and then the duty will import duty will continuously go up by 5% or 10%, then it means you have to look for alternatives. And government can give them time. But some of these drastic decisions will send our local companies to the gallows. And if you look at the exports to our neighboring countries, without mentioning, cement is one of the big commodities that we are exporting, including steel. So when you come and also extinguish our companies here, we are also shooting ourselves within the regional export market.
MPs also sought to know his plans for special economic zones and whether they are working.
I invite the members as we try and reconfigure how we can move from here forward and encouraging local investors, those who are there to see how they can grow, and I think also more importantly, encouraging the younger ones. The majority leader also talked about the cottage industries. I think sometimes we overfocus on the big bulk industries. But the truth is If you go to every village, the potential to have small industries that can employ 10, 20 people, get the raw materials from the village becomes a big issue, partly because of employment in the rural areas. And you do not want a situation where everybody has to leave their rural areas to come to town to find labor. So we'll also try and look at how we can be able to encourage cottage industries all the way down into the rural spaces.
For a government that has not once emphasized its commitment to moving the country to a manufacturing state, the onus is on Kinyanjui to lead the crucial docket, more so as a product of the broad-based government. George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi.